Good evening. Tonight we go after a fantastic story. The story that...
Hey guys, what is up? Today we're going to be discussing a few topics, pretty interesting topics, I have to say. So we're going to be discussing reptilians, skinwalkers, and urban legends and folklore, lore, all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to dive into that today. But first off, today is November 1st. So how was your Halloween, Katelyn? How did it
My
go?
Halloween, it was interesting. It was pretty good.
What did you guys do?
Well, we took the girls trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Last minute they decided they wanted to be fairies, so we switched up from, Spider-Man and Jack Skeleton, and
Awesome.
yeah, they decided they want to be fairies. So we took them around for a little bit. That's pretty much it. Usual, nothing like too exciting.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Oh my gosh. Well, we didn't do very much at all, but for Halloween, we don't really trick or treat. There's nowhere to trick or treat up in the mountains where we live.
Right. Well,
so.
we're in a very rural spot,
Yeah.
so we had
you get
we
it.
drive about 35 minutes into town,
Yeah.
and there's a awesome community that we go to. They basically invited us. Like, one year I asked, I was like, hey, we don't really have trick-or-treating over here, and everybody's like, come on out. So
awesome.
We stopped by a few of Ryan's customers' houses, and they throw a bunch of candy, and
awesome.
Yeah, so
we literally just sit and I make spaghetti. I don't know why, but we make spaghetti every Halloween.
Classic.
And then we eat the candy, and then we usually carve pumpkins, but we didn't this year. And then we sit down and watch Nightmare Before Christmas, because it's kind of like Halloween and Christmassy,
right,
kind of like kick off the season in a spooky way, and then that is literally it.
Yeah, we've watched Nightmare Before Christmas probably about 40 times this Halloween season.
Oh my gosh,
Girls are
classic.
obsessed. It is.
Such a good movie.
I love all the different traditions, though. Especially since we have kids, and we carved pumpkins. I think it was about last weekend, so we gave them a little bit of time. I'm pretty sure they're moldy now. I haven't checked on them, but when I was younger, we used to carve them the night before. But now we carve them a little bit before, because I like to put lights in them and stuff. And
because they just go to waste right after anyway.
Right.
So
I think we're gonna get the BB guns out and maybe the bow and arrows and shoot them later.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so Florida.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
But yeah, no, I love all the different traditions. I was actually talking to Ryan about possibly, there's a lot of different stuff that circulates Halloween. So Saman, a lot of people know about. It's kind of like a little more on the spiritual, it has Gaelic origins,
traditional kind of stuff.
Yeah, so everything kind of melts into society, and then we have different interpretations of it over the years. But that's going back to the very kind of beginning. There's a lot of different rituals and stuff that people do. Some people leave out a meal for a loved one and encourage spirits to visit, and there's a lot of more spooky stuff.
Yes.
But I was lightly discussing the topic with Ryan. I was like, what if we did that and we tried to reach out to past family members? And he's just giving me the crazy stare, and I'm like, okay, all right, maybe,
oh girl,
maybe not this year. The more I was actually thinking about it, because I was like, what the heck, why not make a weird random new, well, not weird, but to me it would be weird because it's just so off topic for what I usually do. We carve pumpkins and go trick-or-treating. Here I am let's start a fire and leave out a feast and invite spirits in. So it sounds really cool, but I was just the more I thought, it's I don't know enough about that. I'm not trying to do all that, being inexperienced. So we just settled on, we watched Hocus Pocus. We all sorted the candy, and then that was our night. So
awesome. Yeah, let's not mess with stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel skilled enough.
I am always wanting to do stuff like that, and then I get down to it, and then I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do that.
Right. Well, and that brings us into, all the research of today's topics. Yes. Kind of how I've been feeling, even some of just discussing some of them. I'm just oh
my gosh, yes.
I don't know how I feel about, all of the things that we're going to discuss. It's eerie, it's spooky, but it's very interesting.
Yes, especially how you interpret it, because to us, we truly believe in I'm sure you believe in skinwalkers.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in them. Yes.
Yeah, I believe they're true too. It is it stems from Navajo tradition. Kind of stems from lore, which is, Navajo people are real people. So this isn't
Right.
like urban
It's
legends,
not, yeah, it's
for
not an urban legend,
example.
right? Like it
Yeah.
has very real roots in
Yes.
history, and it's just about how people have interpreted and what they've taken from it over the years. Which
Yeah.
you and me, although we share the same perspective that we believe in it, so I will just start off by saying,
Yeah.
I personally, I see like a lot of Indigenous people say that they don't like talking about it with outsiders because of merely talking about it. They say can sometimes, maybe call it to you in a certain way. And again, interpretation. So everybody kind of has different beliefs on it.
Yeah.
But so for me personally, I'm not going to talk as much on this topic because I'm a little spooked because I do believe in it. Yeah. But Chelsea, I feel like you have like a really good background on it, and you're a little more experienced with.
Someone's got to do it. So
yes, yeah. No, and I think people should be educated on it too, because it's getting to be kind of like a taboo topic on like TikTok and stuff. And I feel like there's a lot of misinterpretation and misinformation around it. So
it's very popular on TikTok, I've noticed. When I'm just scrolling through, it's just
especially when you're just scrolling through at 3 a.m. especially,
and you're like, wow,
that's cool, when it comes on. I know. And you're like, I do not claim this energy. I do not. No. And you keep scrolling.
I rebuke it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But you're curious. So, it's just like, let's dive into it a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I hope that people who are a little bit curious kind of take something from this, as it's not like a light topic. Like we said, we believe is actual, and you need to know the facts behind it, not just what TikToker XYZ is telling you, basically. Also, my bird is so annoying today. She is talking. Oh, I can hear a bird in your background too, but mine's like really. Yeah.
Oh, I have my windows open because it's so nice out.
Oh, but your bird sounds nice. Mine's just like quiet. Just staring at me. So also, it is really important to understand that a lot of people actually get skinwalkers tied up with something called a Wendigo. And then you also have something called a flesh gate, which is kind of a mix between the two. And I'm going to get into that and explain kind of what that is. It's just the fact of the matter is here, a lot of people don't really know what these things are. And they just assume, oh, it's a shapeshifter, it's going to come and get you. So basically what a skinwalker is a Navajo witch or a shaman. So that's what they are. Also, I want to just put out this little disclaimer. If you do choose to do any kind of research on this after we talk about this, personally, me and Katelyn and I, would recommend that you do not say the name of what a skinwalker is. The word skinwalker is not actually what they are called. They do have a name. I will not say it. I will not put it up on the screen. You can do, like, at your own discretion, do research on it. If you would like, see that name if you feel like it. I personally would not recommend saying that name out loud. Reading it, fine. Do not say it out loud, because you can summon them, bring them to you, and I feel like that's very dangerous. So these entities, which are, a shaman or a witch, Navajo, is in the southwestern United States, Appalachia kind of area. So they're not just like wherever, which people on TikTok seem to just kind of think like, they're in their backyard and they do not live in Appalachia area. So they're like, I saw a weird person in my front yard and they just seemed kind of strange, and oh my gosh, it was a skinwalker. No.
Right. Or like a deer on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's probably not. And traditionally, with a actual skinwalker, it would not take the shape of, like you said, like a deer or a person. It can, but typically what they would turn into is something of a predator aspect. So diving into that a little bit further, these skinwalkers are practicing black magic. Essentially, that's what they are doing. It is not anything more than that, really. And to take on the shape of something else, because they are a shapeshifter in a way, they would have to don the pelt of that thing that they are taking the shape of. So if you're seeing like a person running around and you're thinking that this is a skinwalker, it just doesn't come off as a actual person, you think it's going to get you, but this person is like kind of looks like somebody you know, and you think it's a shapeshifter trying to trick you into, this is somebody I know, I'm going to go off with them. No, because they would have to honestly kill that person to take the pelt of that person, to put it on them, perform black magic in order to take the shape of that person. So they're far more likely to take the shape of a predator because they want to get you, basically. So they would be more likely to don the pelt of a bear, a wolf, coyote, something like that can run after you and get you, because when it does take on the shape of something, it also takes on their physical abilities.
Yeah, so I just have more questions on the difference between those that I like I said, personally, I don't even want to really like discuss. That's why I'm being super quiet here. But I would like for you to further explain the differences, because I think the way you described it is a little different from what I've been seeing a lot of other people describe it as. So if you want to go further into that.
So I personally think that a lot of people get skinwalkers and Wendigos very mixed up. Like people on TikTok, for example, are always bringing up skinwalkers. Like we've said, it's a trend right now for some reason, and it's pretty bad, honestly, because it really spreads misinformation about these very real things. But I feel like a lot of people kind of get them mixed up with something called a Wendigo, which is also a type of shape shifter. So I personally believe in Wendigos also. They are a demonic entity, and they are very similar. So that's why a lot of people kind of get them mixed up. So, like I said, a Wendigo is a demonic entity, and a skinwalker is not.
So appearance-wise, what really differentiates between the two?
So a skinwalker typically does not take the shape of another human. It would take the shape of a predatory animal. And that predatory animal, since it has derived from a person, because a person is donning the pelt of that predatory animal, a human is not an animal like that. You know, we're not wolves, so naturally we're not going to completely act like a wolf. That's why when people see these skinwalkers and claim that they're like they see some kind of strange animal, and it's acting kind of weird, that very well may be a skinwalker, and that's why it's acting strange. But when people are seeing these people that are acting strange and they claim that's a skinwalker, I firmly believe that they are actually seeing a Wendigo. So a Wendigo, according to the Algonquin people, there are two groups of people that, well, basically, because there's more cultures that, you know, a Wendigo is a demonic entity. So it's claimed by multiple cultures, but I'm going to discuss two of the main ones today. So according to the Algonquin people, they are a desiccated, bony, flesh pulled tight, sunken in eyes thing. Really scary. Very skinny, emaciated, kind of looks like it just crawled out of under the ground, like a skeleton like a corpse that's just been sitting underground for a long time, to where there's no flesh. It's just kind of like skin and bones, very emaciated. Like I said, sunken in eyes, and their clothing is typically tattered and bloody. They also happen to have a aroma of decay and death. That's how the Algonquin people, that's how they differentiate from another group of people. And the other group of people is the Ojibwe. And to them, in their culture, they are a large creature that is as tall as a tree. So that's very different. They have a lipless mouth, very jagged teeth, and typically walk with bloody footprints tracking behind them. they eat anybody, anything, it doesn't matter what. And if you are eaten by them, that's lucky compared to what they could do. So what they could do is they could possess you, because like I said, demonic entity, and it would turn you into a Wendigo as well. But when you turn into the Wendigo because you were possessed by this Wendigo, you will end up killing off your loved ones and people that are dearest to you.
Okay.
So that's the difference, basically. So first one, it's human, straight up human size, normal, just very emaciated and gross. And then this other one is very tall, like a tree, and possesses you big time. There is something with Wendigos that a lot of people also talk about on TikTok, where I've seen a lot of videos. I don't know if you have, where it's like Skinwalker or Wendigo kind of style videos where people hear screams out in the distance in the woods, and they're like, oh, it's a Skinwalker or it's a Wendigo or something like that. What I've heard is if you hear a scream out in the woods, it's a Wendigo. And if it sounds very close, it's actually very far away. And what they do is they scream like that to kind of disorient you. You're like panicking because there's this scream happening that's right near you. And so you take off running, but really this is far away. And what they do is their screams will be in distances far away to really close to make you kind of scattered, get lost, really exhausted. That's when they nab you and possess you or eat you, basically. So it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I actually
Yeah.
I mean, you know about the term, but I didn't know that in depth.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting. I'm glad that I'm
Uh-huh.
also learning some things too, because that is just
Yeah.
that's horrifying.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And I really think that a lot of people on TikTok and all over social media are really referring to Wendigos.
Well,
when they
yeah.
talk
So
about
let me touch
Skinwalkers.
on that. There is one
Yeah.
video that I saw actually before
Mhm.
we discuss this topic. It was a gentleman who said he could hear his own voice outside of his room.
I
Have
know
you
you're
seen
talking
that?
about. Yes.
Okay. What category? If it's not cap, what kind of category does that fall into?
I 100% would say that is a demonic entity of some sort. I don't think it's a Wendigo or a Skinwalker, but I
Okay.
think it is some kind of demonic entity, because I do not believe that Wendigos can mimic you.
Right. Okay. And that makes sense, because
Yeah.
what you've gone over and basically explained is,
Yeah.
you separate them, and the skinwalkers are going to be more animalistic, because, as you said, it's like basically a dark magic.
Yeah.
Whereas a Wendigo is a demon. So that makes sense. So
and the whole point of a Wendigo, their whole goal is to possess you and to lure you in.
If that was a Wendigo trying to learn from that specific video, for example, why wouldn't it just possess him already? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's you would naturally be scared if you heard your own voice talking to you. So you're gonna take off running, or you're not gonna go any further with that. So I mean, I've heard of Wendigos also kind of mimicking like child baby cries, things like that. It's to lure you in. So they do try to disorient you and get you to fall victim to them. But their whole goal is to really just lure you in. The other skinwalkers, their goal is to hunt you down, basically. So I think it would just be a typical demon kind of situation going on. It's really disturbing. But
that brings it back to the point that you were saying there, because people were saying that was a skinwalker. I don't even want to say it, but that shows just the kind of misinformation that surrounds it, because people don't really have a good grasp or understanding of like the difference between these types of entities.
Yes, and you really have to be careful with that kind of stuff. There is another thing that I feel like people kind of get tied into with Wendigos and Skinwalkers, and that's something called a fleshgate. So a fleshgate is basically a mix between the two and another type of shapeshifter. I cannot remember what it's called, but basically they take the form of anyone to trick you. But this is urban legend. It is not folklore. So therefore, I do not deem it as real, but it's fun to believe in.
Right.
As most things are, even if they seem really far-fetched. I feel like it's just more so fun to believe in. So that's the difference between all of those.
Okay, that makes sense. So then the flesh gates would be a little more along the lines of like reptilians.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
yes,
not
definitely.
substantiated, a little more just kind of he said, she said, but doesn't have those deep roots with years and years of history behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, speaking of urban legends with reptilians, people have heard that's all over TikTok too. That's kind of viral right now as well.
Yeah.
Lizard people, reptoids. That's a little bit, I don't know, like you said with the flesh gates, I don't know how long that's been around, but reptilians, it's been since like the early like 1990s.
Yeah, these are definitely newer, I would say. Flesh gates.
So, and again, a lot of the stuff can be based off of realistic things, just kind of like, as you said, like twisted a little bit to make like these new urban legends, which may become our own type of lore one day. You never know. Down the road, years from now. So
never know.
Like the whole thing about reptilians is they are said to have come from the Alpha Draconis star system. Basically, there's a lot of different beliefs with them that they are, some people think they're demigods who have come down and interbred with humans. Some people think that they're aliens. Others think that one really popular conspiracy that I've been hearing is that the earth is actually honeycomb inside, as we've heard about all the different tunnels and stuff, so again, that kind of goes into a deeper thing, but basically that they are dinosaurs. They just kind of evolved over time. They picked up these different powers. So the ultimate like agreement with reptilians is that basically they have like telepathy, so they can communicate with each other. They are also shapeshifters. They can implant like false memories. They can control your emotions type deal, like all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of argument on where they actually like, are they aliens or are they like this evolved, other species that is just here? And then some people think they're here. Actually, they did a little poll and they found that around 12 million US citizens believe that our political system is ran by lizard people or reptilians. So there's a significant portion of people that think, basically we're at some big war. They're brought here to control us, use our resources on Earth, and then you have the other people that think it is just tied in like with the Illuminati, that it's like a satanic, like demonic entity that kind of possesses people. So musicians, celebrities, you see these videos of them. I can't explain it personally. I have no way to explain it, but you watch these videos. I've never seen it on any videos of my kids. I've never seen it on any videos of anybody I know in real life. But you see these videos where for a second their eyes will kind of do the shifty thing, and you can look it up. On TikTok, YouTube, whatever. You can watch the live videos yourself. You slow it down, something happens to their eyes. And okay, say it's just glitching out, whatever. But with this, when you slow it down enough, the eyes actually change shape. And
reptile eyes.
And it could be edited, but why there's other types of glitches and stuff that happen that a lot of people are like, well, I don't really have an explanation for it. So whether you're whatever religion you are, if you're a Christian, because I know a lot of people are like, I don't know about this. They think that they could be, demons or fallen angels that have come and taken this form that take over people, and they're, ruling the world. Then you have people who don't necessarily believe in that, who still believe, okay, there's some type of alien that is ultimately here. The general consensus is most people who believe in reptilians think they are bad. Like wherever they came from, whatever their end goal is, everybody's kind of in agreement that they're bad, whether it's because they're world leaders, they're celebrities, whatever. It's just you know, there's no real,
Yeah.
nobody thinks they're good, basically.
No.
So they are really scary to me. But again, they, you know, it's only been around since like the 1990s is when people start. But also, that's when social media, you know, videosing and stuff kind of started to come because you wouldn't be able to see that in like an old black and white picture.
Exactly. And the quality like of our earliest videos and things like that were definitely not as good as they are now. So
right.
I mean,
explain that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So although they're kind of popular from like a book that came out in the 1990s called The Biggest Secret, which I would recommend anybody to read because it's interesting. I have also seen that they are referred to in like Mayan culture as Iguana Men. So that dates back further, you know, the 1990s, like kind of like new version of it could just be a little more like a modern spin, but it does date back.
It's probably derived from it.
Right. And when they say like, again, you know, there's that they evolves like thought process, and then there's that they're like aliens. Yeah. And everybody says like the dimension that they come from, like the starseed dimension or whatever, is like kind of like a like more dark aspect. So
basically our whole topic today has mostly been about urban legends and folklore and the difference between both of those things. Okay, so an urban legend, let's go ahead and touch on the description of what that is, just to kind of give like a little brief rundown of what that is. So an urban legend is a humorous or horrific story or piece of information circulated as through true, especially one purporting to involve someone vaguely related or known to the teller. Something word on the street is but like in a spooky aspect, kind of a something that, you know, somebody saw. So Bigfoot, for example, urban legend, you know, has been proven to be not true, but there are some people who still believe that Bigfoot exists. Bigfoot actually is my backyard neighbor. So, because I live in Northern California, right where Sasquatch lives. So and that's a good example of an urban legend. Now, folklore, which is something that people do get misconstrued with urban legend, is more of the truer aspect of stuff. So folklore is the traditional beliefs, customs, and stories of a community passed through the generations by word of mouth. So stuff that has been passed down from generation to generation based upon tradition or true facts, things that people have seen. So, for example, Wendigos and Skinwalkers, folklore. Something such as Fleshgate, the Goat Man, Sasquatch, Bloody Mary, urban legend. So let's go ahead and touch on my absolute favorite folklore, and that is the Jersey Devil. Just because, you know, this is the day after Halloween, let's go ahead and talk about something a little bit spooky, since that's what we've been talking about this whole time, basically. So I grew up...
We're in a silly, spooky mood.
Yes, we're in a spooky mood today. Okay. So the Jersey Devil, some people say it's urban legend. Most people say it's folklore. I would consider it folklore. I actually do believe that the Jersey Devil exists. Lots of people do not think it exists, but I personally think that the Jersey Devil does exist. And it has all stemmed from this area called the Pine Barrens, which is in New Jersey. And the Pine Barrens is a 1.1 million acre wooded terrain. It is huge. And there are so many insane creatures that live there. And like, it's just, I mean, it's the Pine Barrens. There are just trees like stacked, just if you've never seen photos or footage of the Pine Barrens, you definitely should. It is the thickest, densest forest. Definitely would get very lost there if you ever went there. It's my goal one day to go there. I would love to go there.
I'm gonna go with you.
You should.
It's gonna be us.
It would be so much fun. So let's go ahead and just kind of give a rundown on what the Jersey Devil is. And let's go ahead. I'm just going to read off of Wikipedia because, you know, That's just where you find all your information from nowadays on the story of the Mother Leeds 13th child, which is the Jersey Devil. So according to popular folklore, the Jersey Devil originated with a Pine Barrens resident named Jane Leeds, known as Mother Leeds. The legend states that the Mother Leeds had 12 children, and after finding out that she was pregnant for the 13th time, she cursed the child in frustration, crying that the child would be the devil. In 1735, Mother Leeds was in labor on a stormy night while her friends gathered around her. Born as a normal child, the 13th child changed to a creature with hooves, a goat's head, bat wings, and a forked tail. Growling and screaming, the child beat everyone with its tail before flying up the chimney and heading into the pines. In some versions of the tale, Mother Leeds was supposedly a witch, and the child's father was the devil himself. Some versions of the legend also state that there was a subsequent attempt by local clergymen to exorcise the creature from the Pine Barrens. I personally have watched a lot of documentaries on the Jersey Devil, and I've seen some of these documentaries, they actually see a creature out in the woods with, those heat signature kind of cameras, where it kind of shows like heat moving in the woods. I have seen myself footage of a creature that looks exactly like how it is described. Basically a horse with big old bat wings. It's just the craziest looking thing, and flying and jumping through the tops of the Pine Barren trees. It's just the craziest thing. Absolutely terrifying. And it's one of my favorite folklore legends, that's for sure. That's for sure.
You're like, I want one as a pet. I can see it
I
in your
do.
eyes.
I want one
I
as a
can
pet.
see it.
I love me some Jersey Devil. I think I'm gonna get a tattoo of him at some point.
Oh my gosh. Of course.
Have you ever heard of the Jersey Devil before me mentioning him?
No.
No.
Can't say I have.
Yeah.
No. Down in Florida, the biggest thing that we've got is Spook Hill.
Oh wow.
Which is, it's literally like, I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it. You drive and you park on the hill, and there's like some weird anti-gravity thing where it looks like you're moving when you're not. And like that's about it. Like in Florida,
is crazy.
That's one of our spookiest things.
That's the scariest thing you have. I mean,
aside from Florida Man. Man, the myth, the man, the legend, that's a totally, like, that could be a topic for like a whole nother day. But other than that, no, I have not heard about the Jersey Devil.
That is crazy, girl. You got to get into these folklores a little bit more.
I have a feeling that you're gonna make me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you are so passionate about it.
I love it.
It's definitely very interesting. So like, as you know, somebody I looked up a little bit preliminary. Yeah. So as somebody who's just now kind of hearing about Jersey Devil for the first time, me personally, it sounds like another like Sasquatch, Bigfoot, one of those types of things. But I also, I mean, I can't say that it's not real. That's kind of how I feel about most of that stuff. Is it's just like, I mean, I haven't seen it personally, but sounds possible. So
there are so many sightings even till this day, and a lot of people are very terrified to go into the woods at night. I've been watching this guy on TikTok every night because he goes out into the Pine Barrens every night, and he just walks around the Pine Barrens trying to find the Jersey Devil and any kind of other entity that he can find.
Is it in a song? Is it in a song, the Jersey Devil?
I feel like are you talking about the devil went down to Georgia?
No, that's not it. I feel like I've heard the Jersey Devil in a song.
You might have.
Maybe I imagined it. So I'm not really sure if it is urban legend or folklore. It's like a Japanese curse, but they're called Senpoku eyes, and basically it translates to the three whites. And what it says is that if you can look your eyes directly in front of you and you can see white below or above while you're looking straight, that you have Senpoku eyes, and there's like the yin yang of them, and
Oh,
basically
I've heard of this. I
have you
think
heard of
actually,
this?
yes.
So basically, they say like loosely, it's tied to getting like serious illness, or it's tied to having like a very terrible death.
Isn't there some like
so
actors and
they say-
actresses that people say like they have senpoku eyes? I think I've seen something.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. One notably, Charles Manson has senpoku eyes. So there's a lot of like you know, speculation around it that it can also show like mental illness, mental disorders. But it's either one of those. But there's a lot of serial killers, school shooters, etc., that have that with their eyes. So you look into the camera. I don't have them. Like my eyes are small, but like you look, and if you look there, you can see above or below. You might be destined to, you know, whatever it says. I don't want to spread the curse, but
I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I have really big eyes. Like when I don't have my glasses make my eyes look so much smaller than they actually are. Like I have big eyes.
Oh my! Why do they make them look so small?
I'm blind.
That is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Sag in me.
Oh, yeah.
My big eyeballs. So. Yep.
Oh my god. But yeah, so no senpoku eyes here. But if you're curious, listeners, go look in the mirror and see what you see. If you can see white above or below, then look into it. Maybe
look up some serial killers pictures and things like that too. See if you can notice anything very oddly different about them compared to normal people.
Right. So again, I'm not sure which category it falls into. It might be a little mix of both. I just find it interesting.
That is very interesting. I would definitely say it would tie into maybe a mix of both for sure. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us today. This is actually our very first podcast, so excuse the rough spots if there are any. We've had quite a few technical difficulties in the past. We've actually tried to record a few podcasts now, but we're new. Okay, we don't know what we're doing. So
we'll get there.
We will get there.
Have faith in us.
We do appreciate you guys even taking the time to listen to us talk. Like, you have no idea how much we appreciate just the fact that you want to sit here and listen to us talk about things that we
if you
literally
made
love.
It this far, we're so excited. Like, we can't wait to share more with you guys. So
yes, make sure that you follow us on all the platforms that we're on. We are on pretty much everything. So from Discord to TikTok to Instagram to Facebook, YouTube, and then anywhere that you get your podcast. So Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We are on everything. So make sure you also spread the word since we are brand new. If you do love hearing the things that we talk about, we would love for you to share it with people that you think would love to hear things that we're talking about.
Right.
So
also, if you would like to give us any feedback, or if you liked what we talked about and you want us to elaborate further on some things, or you have something that you find really interesting and you want us to dive into, just leave us a comment. Let us know.
Yeah, we're very knowledgeable.
Please.
we were so knowledgeable.
No, you can't. We're very knowledgeable.
We know things.
We can't. That just gave me total that gave me Zuckerberg vibes.
Oh,
and
okay.
We're gonna have to do one on that soon.
Okay.
Too, by the way.
Yes.
Mark Zuckerberg, AI or alien? What is he?
What is he? All I know is he has changed quite a few times over the years, and he doesn't look like he's alive anymore, honestly. Literally, like he looks like a zombie.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Yes,
that's what they want. They want us to be zombies.
Okay, so anyways, like we said, thank you for joining us today, and we hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful November, and we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.